Natural disasters like a hurricane can be catastrophic, not just to the environment and infrastructure, but also your mental health. Here are some useful tips to help you cope before, during, and after a hurricane. Get the facts. Reliable information is crucial to assessing your risk and taking reasonable actions. Make connections. Talk with family members or friends and share how you are feeling. Practice self-care. Do activities that bring you joy and relaxation, such as meditation. Get to a shelter if you cannot stay in your home or you do not have access to power. Again, a healthy relationship and a strong support system with family members or friends is vital, so share how you feel. Listen to music that will help to put your mind at ease. Taking care of your body by eating well, drinking water, exercising, and getting enough sleep can help regulate your mood. Limit your exposure to television and social media content about the worst effects of the hurricane. Overexposure can increase distress. Engage in fun and therapeutic activities, such as exercise, your favorite hobbies, and social activities.
Good afternoon and welcome to Tracking Melissa, CVM's every 2-hour update on what's happening, the very latest with Hurricane Melissa as it comes closer to the island. I'm Giovanni Dennis.
And I'm Amoy Harriet.
Now then, we are going to be giving you the very latest from the Met Service before we get into the show. The 2 o'clock bulletin from the Met Office says a hurricane warning remains in effect for Jamaica. Category 4 Hurricane Melissa continues on its westward track while south of the island. It says at 1 p.m. the center of Hurricane Melissa was located near latitude 16.4 degrees north, longitude 76.9 degrees west. This is 182 kilometers or 113 miles southwest of Moran Point, or 180 kilometers or 110 miles south of Kingston, Jamaica.
Now, Melissa is moving slowly westward near 7 kilometers per hour, and this motion is expected to continue today, followed by a turn to the north and northeast on Monday and Tuesday. Now, on the forecast track, the center of Melissa is expected to move closer to Jamaica and over the island through Tuesday. All right, so maximum sustained winds are near 220 kilometers per hour with higher gusts. Additional intensification is forecast over the next day or so, followed by fluctuations in intensity. Melissa is expected to be a powerful major hurricane when making landfall in Jamaica Monday night or Tuesday morning.
All right, so let's go now then to our in-house meteorologist, Javoy Sawyers, who is out in Monty. Javoy, how are things down in Monty right now?
All right, it appears we're having some technical challenges there with Javoy. Javoy, are you hearing us?
So we're standing by to go to Javoy. Amoy, we just saw a video coming from our reporter, Giselle Mills. She's out on the Palisades Strip on her way down to Port Royal to covering things out east. And we saw her while standing on the shore, the wave just coming in and she literally ran off the shore out there just now. That's very interesting to see.
It is, because what you find happening is that, and this ties in with what the meteorologists have been saying, and even the Met Office has been saying the last few days, the system is moving slowly. So you got up this morning, you saw a little bit of shower, not too much happening, but then as the time progresses, so does the system in terms of what we're seeing on the island, in terms of flood, in terms of, the water or sea rising, So it's interesting just seeing how the weather is changing hour by hour.
Oh, by hour. And speaking about that, we will be hearing from in this program the Commissioner of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, that's Stuart Bedford. He'll be telling us some do's and don'ts in hurricanes, of course, from a fire and safety perspective. And we are looking forward to hearing from him. And we'll also be hearing from our reporter who is out in St. Elizabeth. He's down by
Treasure Beach.
He's down by
Treasure Beach, yes.
And so we'll be hearing from Amari Wilson.
Interested to hear what's happening in St. Elizabeth, considering what happened last year with Hurricane Beryl. But of course, we will pick up back on this on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people them I say we are my show tonight. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't put it down. Shine your lights on.
Welcome back to CVM TV's coverage of Tracking Melissa. Now, earlier we mentioned that we have reporters on the ground who are going to be bringing us the latest updates in terms of what's happening. We have one reporter who is in St. Elizabeth, Amari Wilson, who we will hear from a little later on, as well as another reporter, Akeem Oret, who will give us an update on what's happening in Clarendon. But let's head to our in-house meteorologist, Javoy Sawyers, for what's happening in terms of the latest in terms of Hurricane Melissa. Javoy, are you here with us?
I'm here.
All right, perfect, Javoy. Has anything changed since we last spoke over an hour ago?
Unfortunately, no. The system is still a Category 4 hurricane, winds of 140 miles per hour, churning in the waters south of the island. Now, the system is trekking towards the west at about 5 miles per hour, relatively slow speed for a tropical system. And we're not expecting landfall until sometime late Monday into Tuesday.
Yeah. Something like this has not happened for over 37 years in terms of the impact on Jamaica, a direct impact from such a strong hurricane that's expected to make landfall here. Not since Gilbert have we had this sort of potential impact that is to come. What role does climate change play in this, Javoy? Because this is a rarity, but it's getting more and more frequent, these kind of strong systems that we've been seeing.
Yeah, for the past couple of years, we've seen several hurricanes become major hurricanes and then progressing to big major hurricanes, Category 4 and 5, especially intensifying rapidly. We've seen Hurricane Matthew, we've seen Patricia in the Pacific, Dorian, which similarly to Hurricane Melissa moved pretty slowly across the Bahamas before impacting eastern Florida and then moving off into the Atlantic.
So, you know, this time around, we're seeing where a hurricane is happening close to the end of the hurricane season compared to, for example, Beryl that happened in July of last year. What does this mean?
Well, during October, we tend to have systems develop in the Western Caribbean. That's where the waters are warmest during that time of the year. And we also have graveyard cold fronts that provide that initial seeding for development, tropical development. Beryl was a long track system that came across from the Atlantic into the Caribbean. Typically in October, we see systems develop closer to home in the Western Caribbean, south of the island, like Hurricane Wilma, particular one year. And yeah.
Yeah. In terms of the history in Jamaica, in terms of hurricanes, we know that this one is expected to be the most significant to make landfall when it does so on Tuesday. In terms of where we are coming up to now, though, what are some of the most significant ones that stand out to you as a meteorologist over the years?
Well, Gilbert was before my time. There was Ivan, Ian, none of which were landfalling hurricanes. The category 4 nonetheless, but the core of strongest winds pretty much skirted the south coast with Ivan and with Dina as well. So we didn't have a true representation of a major hurricane coming across the island, making landfall on the island. And
yet we saw the kinds of extensive flooding that we did from those hurricanes and the damage that happened to the agriculture sector. And it kind of hammers down the point that Evan Thompson was speaking about, that catastrophic word that he mentioned. You know, it's going to be catastrophic and people should take it seriously. Before we let you go, Javoy, word to Jamaicans right now, if they are in lowland communities and they are refusing to move?
To make at this point, you cannot survive a category 5 storm surge.
All right, so we're having some audio challenges there with Javoy. I'm assuming the point that he was about to make is that you cannot survive a category 5 hurricane.
No, a category 5 wind, a category 5 hurricane, a category 4 wind blowing you when you're standing in it and
being in these flood-prone areas.
So yeah, that's very dangerous. Let's go back to Javoy, who was making that point. Javoy, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yes.
My advice is that you have to heed the warnings of officials. It is not advisable to know that these areas are flood prone and prone to storm surges.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. That is Javoy Sawyers, or in-house meteorologist, providing us the latest update on what's happening regarding Hurricane Melissa. All right. So what's next, Giovanni?
We have Stuart Beckford, who is now on Zoom. Stuart Beckford is the commissioner of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, and he's here to speak with us about safety during hurricane. Good afternoon, Mr. Beckford. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, Mr. Beckford, it appears that you might be muted. Are you hearing us? Are you here with us?
Yes, I'm with you. Good afternoon to you and your viewers.
Yeah, what are some of the common challenges that the fire brigade, you have with Jamaicans in terms of what they do that are not advisable during a hurricane?
All right, some of the challenges we tend to encounter is one, the use of generators. The power will go, as JPS has indicated, and those of us who are fortunate enough to have a generator at home, we're asking you, if you have to use it, please do not use it in an enclosed space. That generator needs to be at least 20 feet minimum away from your house, and the exhaust pipe on that generator should not be so directed so that it will allow fumes to come back into the house. So open doors, windows, make sure that the pipes are not turned in that direction.
Yeah. Why specifically, just explain from a viewer so people who may not understand, why is it important to have it so far away from your house and not in an enclosed area?
So while the generator is operating, it gives us poisonous gases such as carbon monoxide. And we know that carbon monoxide is a silent killer. You can't taste it, you can't smell it. And so we have seen in the past, we have had instances in the past where persons were overcome by carbon monoxide and had to seek medical attention. And so we're asking persons to desist from having a generator running in an enclosed space.
Yeah, we saw a video from Manchester just, I think, 2 days ago or yesterday of a gentleman being assisted out of a sinkhole. What was that particular situation?
Well, we got a call to indicate that he had fallen into the sinkhole. When we got there, we recognized that it was a challenging rescue to be carried out. So it took us some while to figure out how we would have handled that. We eventually did, based on the depth. It was it's close to 100 feet. And so we were able to send 2 firefighters down. They were able to properly rope him and have him extricated.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Beckford, we've seen cases where, during a system like this or similar systems in the past where power lines coming down and, causing fires. How exactly is the fire brigade ready to respond to these incidents, if at all it happens?
Well, if I may go back to where I started in terms of the home, once the power goes, we know persons are going to try to find some source of light at home. And we know candle is a favorite of many Jamaicans. We are saying to you, if you don't have to use a candle, because there are battery-powered candles that persons can buy. But if you don't have those and you have to use the regular candles, we're asking you please to place that in a container with some water at the base, so that when that candle burns down, then it will be extinguished. Please keep it away, at least 3 feet away from all flammable materials such as window curtains, tablecloth, and so on. We are also asking you never go to sleep with a candle burning. Always extinguish, put that candle out before you go to sleep. Now, power lines, because one of the things that sometimes we overlook in a weather event like this is the risk of fires. That doesn't go away. As a matter of fact, it multiplies, it amplifies. And so we are asking persons in the home, especially. So we know persons may be rushing now to charge up their devices because JPS said the power will go at some point. What we're asking you not to do is to overload your circuit. Don't plug too many devices to charge in any one electrical outlet. If you are charging the devices, please to charge them on a hard surface. Never charge your devices in your bed and on your sofa, and never go to bed overnight leaving your devices charging, because that's a significant risk you are taking there. Because the truth is that when these batteries are overcharged, they can cause a fire. They go into what is referred to as thermal runaway, and that can explode and cause a fire in your house. So we're asking persons, if you are in the habit of charging your devices before you go to bed and leave them charging while you're sleeping, we're asking you to desist from doing that at this time. Now, in terms of power lines coming down, there's not much that we can do.
That point is very important, Mr. Beckford. I just wanted to repeat. You said persons should not go to sleep and leave their phones on their bed charging. And you're saying that's hazardous. Why?
It's hazardous because, as I said, the battery that are being charged can be overcharged if they are left too long on the charge. And once that happens, the battery, as I said, will go into what is referred to as thermal runaway, which can result in an explosion, and that will result in a fire. So we don't recommend you charging your phones overnight. We recommend that you charge them, unplug them as soon as the battery is fully charged. And as I said prior to now, charge them on a hard surface, a tabletop, but never in your bed, never on your sofa.
Why?
Because it's a fire risk. As I said a while ago, if the batteries when you're charging your devices, they generate a lot of heat, right? And if there is not room or space for that device being charged to breathe, then what will happen is that all of that heat will be trapped under the bottom of the device, and that can result in a fire if you have it on a flammable material such as a bed or in a sofa. So we're asking you to desist from that practice.
All right, thank you so much. That's Stuart Beckford, Commissioner of the Jamaica Fire Brigade. All right, so let's head now to St. Elizabeth, where our reporter Omari Wilson is joining us now with the latest on what's happening on the ground. Omari?
I see, right now it's pretty much at regular.
Well, Amoy, I'm here at Jake's Hotel in Treasure Beach, St. Elizabeth.
As you can see behind me, the waves are crashing in harder by the second. However, on my drive here, it has been a pretty dry drive, but the residents are doing all they can to ensure their safety. They're battening down their houses with flyboards. They're ensuring that their roofs are secured. But I'm here at Jake's Hotel, and now I'm going to be speaking with the hotel owner, Mr. Hensel, who will tell us more about how he has prepared his hotel for the guests that are staying here. Good afternoon, Mr. Hensel. How are you?
Afternoon. I can't say welcome.
So we're very sorry. Again, this is a live show, folks. You can see him down there. He was about to speak with Jason Hensel, the hotelier, who owns and operates Jake's Hotel down there in Treasure Beach. But the signal is already, you can understand.
That is frightening with a coastal hurricane is that there's a surge. So the entire sea gets up, possibly 3 or 4 meters high, and then you have big waves now on top of the surge. So it's hard to imagine what this could look like in a few hours. But as I said, this morning it was flat. So, you know, nature is taking its course. It's emotional to watch, but, you know, we have to be strong. We are impressed, to be honest with you, with the level of preparation, not only with my team right here at Jake's in Treasure Beach, but across the entire community. I'm also impressed with the action by a member of parliament, Lloyd Green, was, you know, cleaning the drains in the area. We know where the flooding takes place. The NWC, we would have donated 2 commercial generators to them after burial. In a spirit of partnership, those machines are serviced and gassed up and have operators ready. The shelters are operational. I would have watched the briefing this morning from the JPS and the utility company. I would have watched the one later on with Minister Baz and Mackenzie. And I have to be honest with you, I'm impressed with the level of readiness and the seriousness that has been placed on this storm.
It's the wrong name.
I mean, Minister Mackenzie got biblical earlier. I must be honest. And, you know, sometimes that's what it takes to get through to our people. He said, if I have to get down on my knees, I'll do so.
So again, viewers, as you see there, we are having a little bit of an issue with the internet service there down in Treasure Beach, St. Elizabeth. Let's go now to our reporter, Curlin Brown, who is in St. Anne. Curlin, what do you have for us?
This is a part of the Miami Bay water wheel. Yeah, it's normally a busy thoroughfare, but of course it's not your typical Sunday. Now this area, as you can turn the camera, you can see we have water gushing down the channel. Now this area is normally blocked off. Well, can I tell you, most persons had no idea what was taking place behind the fence, but Miss Melissa took it down. We've been asking around and I've been told that what's happening behind us here, actually they're building houses. Not sure for whom, but this is a property being operated by Chinese nationals. It's raining, people are going about their business. Well, not much traffic on the roadway, but I can tell you, this is something that a lot of persons are going to be drawn to because it's new as far as they can tell. One assumption is that this water may be coming from the laughing waters, and it's diverted here. No, that's an allegation. I'm not sure, but that's what one person told us. So we're gonna see how quickly the workers have been trying to, put up at the fence, but it's gone. This is Carlin Brown reporting for CVM News from St. Anne. This is a
What stood out to me right there, Amoy, was the crane behind him. And we were speaking with our head of news, sports and business here this morning about the issues of cranes being left across developments happening across the city here in Kingston. We see right there just now in Miami Bay Center and the same issue.
And the risk that poses.
The risk that poses.
Especially during a system like this one.
A crane, that can become a very hazardous thing, that blowing down, that can damage cars going by, houses. You can be in your house safely and that crane falls on you. So in terms of how we manage developers and developments in times of natural disasters, that's something that we have to consider, because that ought not to be there at all. And it's the same thing we're seeing right across the corporate area. And this morning, the Minister of Local Government, or this afternoon I should say, the Minister of Local Government, he criticized developers who have not just cranes but steels and other things that are left unsecured on their construction sites, still up right now, right across the city. And if they have time, we do hope they are removing those and that the authorities are forcing them to take them down. There's one on Devon Road near the office of the Prime Minister as well. We've seen some on Eastwood Park Road and along Halfwich Road as well. So those are things that need to be addressed, the issue of cranes. We'll have another reporter, Amoy.
And he is in Clarendon. Let's go back to Akeem Oret to find out what's happening on the ground. Akeem?
Thank you so much from studio. Now, as you can see, I'm here in Portland Cottage, Clarendon, where this house and myself, we are surrounded by the sea, and there are strong winds here. We would have seen where some residents are hurrying to evacuate the community. Others are saying they are not leaving because they have family members who are here and they are resisting to flee the community. And so they are staying here, but as you can see, the sea is already coming over. Flooding is already happening, and it just started to rain.
So what we have been doing here from morning, we have been evacuating people. We have some JUTC buses, and of course we have been moving people from Portland Cottage and Rocky Point. However, the Rocky Point people, we got more people out of Rocky Point than Portland Cottage. The Portland Cottage people are a bit reluctant to get out to leave their houses. Of course, they have fears of looting. They're trying to protect their house. I've been going house to house from morning in the rain. I've been trying to warn them about this pending storm surge that will be coming in on them, but they seem not to want to move,
So we'll have that coverage in our news at 7. Stay tuned to see it happen on CVM TV. I am Akeem Oret reporting from Portland Cottage.
All right, so that's live images there coming from Portland Cottage, or reporter Akeem Oret out there in the southern parts of Clarendon, and we do hope he stays safe. Those areas are flood-prone areas. Rocky Point, Portland Cottage, Mitchelltown, Salt River, that entire southeastern belt of Clarendon, very flood-prone and dangerous.
An interesting point coming out of the report we just got from Akeem a while ago, persons' hesitation to evacuate their homes. And, you know, even ODPEM shared with me in an interview last week that this is one of the biggest issues they're having right now in terms of, you know, getting persons from their homes to shelters. They do not want to leave their homes, Giovanni.
And it's especially true for persons who have animals as well, who have pets. They don't want to leave their pets. And some of our shelters, I saw online Attorney at Law Jordan Quarry this morning saying our shelters need to find a way to ensure that they have capacity to accommodate animals and pets as well. So that's something that we have to take into consideration. But of course, the priority is always human life. So it's a tricky situation, but it is in fact something that we do have to address. And we just want to remind our viewers that we continue to share the 881 shelters on CVM TV throughout the day in between our breaks. You can see them, and we'll be sharing them with you immediately after this program as well. So you can look at the shelter that's nearest to you in your area, and if you need to evacuate and go there, we'd advise you to follow the advice from the authorities and make your way to the closest shelter near you. Let's go now to some footage from Flatbridge to see what's happening there with the water.
Okay. So it appears things haven't changed much since we last looked at the footage, right? Or has it?
Because the road seems dry, so we're
Yes.
not seeing
Yes, it does.
much rain right now, much activity, but we're just monitoring this lively because this is one of those hotspots. It's an area that's it's not a play area at all. Omar. This is one of the most dangerous bridges in Jamaica. Lots of multi-victim casualties happen there all the time when cars plunge over. Not just the actual Flatbridge itself, but the entire gorge because of it's literally in a hilly area. The landslides highly likely in that area. So that's something that NWA will continue to monitor.
All right, let's see what's happening here in Kingston out by the harbor, the Kingston Harbor. All right. It's a different scene compared to what we saw just now.
Yeah, you can see a little bit more activity. Obviously, this is off the coast. So yeah, you will see more breeze there. Obviously, Bogwa Gorge is more inland. And so this is, you're seeing a little bit more activity taking place out there.
And even in terms of rainfall, what you're seeing in Kingston is different from what you're seeing in parts of St. Catherine, because we've gotten a few reports since morning and even this afternoon where persons in different parts of St. Catherine are saying that to this point they aren't really seeing much rainfall. The trees aren't moving that much. There's just this calm.
Yeah, and it's the same thing in St. Elizabeth as well. I mean, you could see the sea behind Jason Hensel and our reporter Omari Wilson. It was picking up some steam. The surges were increasing there, but there was no rain. There's no rain yet in St. Elizabeth. But we contrast that, however, to what we've been seeing from Portland and St. Thomas, and already seeing showers there. We saw some videos from St. Mary as well, and we saw some serious rainfall taking place in St. Mary. Let's go now to halfway to see what things look like here in Kingston.
Okay, so the roads are a little wet. Not much rainfall in terms of what's happening right now, but you can tell that there was some light shower earlier.
People still going about,
still on the road,
doing their business. Some people still have to work, for example. So we do have people, making their way, going about their business. So that's a live shot, viewers, of Halfway Tree, the center of Halfway Tree, right where the transport center is located. And so you're looking at live images coming now from Halfway Tree. We're still seeing motorists, going about their business, making last-minute runs. This morning I spoke to a colleague of mine who was heading to St. Thomas to pick up his mother to take her home with him here in Kingston because he resides in Kingston. And he knows how dangerous it is out in St. Thomas. And so he sent us videos with Roselle Falls, the Roselle Road area out in White Horses. And
what
we
did that
saw
look
the
like?
storm surges, it was very powerful. It was very powerful out there.
All right, let's see what's happening down by Clarendon, Maypen. All right, fairly dry. Fairly dry. This is completely different from where our reporter Akeem is.
And of course, again, if you're familiar with the area, Maypen is more inland. It's literally almost in the center of the parish. So you have Maypen, and up the top part of the parish, you have Chapelton, Ainantown, those communities. And then to the south now, you have Mitchelltown, Vere, Rocky Point, those areas.
So we're seeing the motorists still, we're seeing drivers, even the
taxi
animals.
operators as well.
Even the animals are still on the road,
Yeah.
Yeah, completely different scene.
Maypen. All right, so before we go, just want to give you another reminder coming from our friends at the New York Times, and this is their prediction in terms of when the earliest possible time that we should expect significant landfall to reach certain major towns and cities in Jamaica. And let's start then with Maypen, where we just saw images from Maypen.
So the earliest possible time they're predicting is Monday at 4 p.m. and most likely Tuesday at 1 a.m.
Over in Montego Bay, St. James, the second city from where we spoke with our meteorologist Javoy Sawyers earlier, Monday 5 p.m. is the earliest possible time. Tuesday 2 a.m. is the most likely time that Melissa will make landfall.
And for Kingston, they're projecting that the earliest possible time is Monday 8 p.m. So that's tomorrow 8 p.m. and most likely Tuesday at 4 a.m.
And it's the same thing for Spanish Town as well. Monday 8 p.m. the earliest possible time. Tuesday 4 a.m. the most likely time. We should also mention the probability of this happening. They're pretty much all saying 7 out of 10. Like there's a 7 out of 10 chance, a 70% chance roughly, 68% for 3 of them and 70% for Montego Bay. So pretty much a 70% chance for all of them that this is what will happen. Either Monday 4 p.m. or Tuesday 4 a.m. or 1 a.m. in most of these cities. That's something to take note of. That people in these areas can more, properly plan for when it will get more intense and more serious. Well, so that's all the time we have for you here in our 3 o'clock update. This is Tracking Melissa on CVM TV. We're giving you the best and the most comprehensive coverage island-wide. We're out west in the center of Jamaica. We're also out east as well. And we will be in Portland the next time you hear from us on this program. So stay tuned to CVM's coverage of Hurricane Melissa Category 4 making landfall in Jamaica tomorrow by all estimations.
And we will be back at 5 p.m. for the next update. And of course, we'll be here again for CVM News at 7. Until then, I'm Amoy Harriet.
And I'm Giovanni Dennis. Keep watching CVM TV.